Hello, my name is Felix, and in this video, you will learn why so many marketing campaigns didn't work, even though the people running it are knowledgeable, why it costs an inordinate amount of time, money, and effort for most people, even though results are less than desirable, what I do differently that get me and my clients results, how I use AI to enhance what I do and shortcut my results by 90%, how to do a diagnosis of your own marketing problems, and by the end of it, I hope that you will be able to get a better understanding and, more importantly, change what you do so you can see better results for your business. So first and foremost, you need to understand the science of influence. Every person you will ever encounter in your business, in terms of prospects, prospective clients, can be divided into 5 different categories of people in various stages of buying from you. First, you have the client. That's obvious. These are the kind of people that you want, and it is defined by people who have already paid you for your core offer. Prospect are people who are thinking of working with you. They are making inquiries, they're talking with you specifically with the intention to buy. To see whether they are a right fit or whether you are the right fit. They are seriously considering to pay you money in exchange for your services. So obviously, before somebody can become a client, they have to be a prospect. Community is the preceding level before that. People who agree with your interests, philosophy, methodology, or opportunity. They are not just passively listening, they are also interacting with you, and perhaps even with other members of your community. Probably made some kind of small transactions already, in the sense where they probably join your group, they subscribe to your newsletter, they regularly engage with your content, join your event, or made small little purchases from you. And other names that people use to call this are leads or list. Next is audience, people who are interested to consume, as in they are reading, they are watching, they are listening to your content. They follow you on social media or join an event where you're a guest speaker. So I don't call them followers because situationally they may not be a follower, but they are an audience. So if you're watching this video, even though you are currently my audience, you may or may not be following me on social media. That's why I don't call it followers. And finally, you have strangers, people who don't even know you. So what you must understand about the psychology of it all is that the closer someone is to the center, the less proof and effort is needed for them to follow what you say. If they have already paid you, they've already given you permission to guide them, to advise them, to show them what to do, etc. And the further someone is away from the center, the more proof, the more effort is needed for them to follow what you say. So you want clients, but there are all these stages that are completely unavoidable. People must go through the stages before they trust you enough to buy from you. So another way of looking at this is what every marketer is talking about when it comes to funnels. So a funnel is only a different name for the same thing. If you put the framework I showed you in a different format, if you look at it from the side, it looks like a funnel. With that premise in mind, I created this framework to help you think about this in a way that will help you make sense of it all. So I call it the laws of influence, and there are 4 laws of influence in total. The first law is that stages are inescapable. People must go through the stages before they become a client. Whether someone goes through it fast or slow, they still have to go through it. As an example, people who, if you are running ads and if your ads are extremely effective, which is like not very common at all, most ads fail. So if your ads is extremely effective, it is capable of getting people going through the stages very rapidly, but they still have to go through the stages. And when somebody takes a long time to buy from you, even though they know you for years, they still go through the stages. Even though they have known you for long, even though they take a longer amount of time, they still go through the stages. Law number 2 is that the stages cannot be forced. When people are not ready to progress, you can't make them progress. Because it's kind of like you can't force people to love you in the same way. It's like when in relationship, you can't force a girl or a guy to like another person. Same thing. People buy from emotions. When the emotions are not present, when they don't feel like it, no amount of logic will coerce them or convince them. And even if it does manage to coerce or convince them, you try to hammer down on the logic. Even if you manage to do it, they will have buyer's remorse and they will ask for the money back, or they're going to become a terrible client. So we don't want that. So therefore, stages cannot be forced. Law number 3 states that there is always a larger number of people who are not ready than those who do. So there will always be a larger number of strangers than there are. There will always be a larger number of people who don't know you than there are a number of people who do know you. Audience, and there will always be a larger amount of audience than there are people amount of people who are in your community. There will always be more people in your community than people who are your prospects. You will always have more prospects than you do clients. And law number 4, at the same time, people won't go to the next stage by themselves. So if there are strangers, and if you don't do anything to strangers are gonna stay strangers. If you don't do anything for the audience will never automatically become a community. They will stay exactly where they are. Therefore, people won't go to the next stage all by themselves. Those who are ready to move to the next stage must be exposed to the right offer to move to the next stage. So in a sense, this is kind of like 2-in-1 kind of law. So they will, first and foremost, they will not move on by themselves. And the second one is that they must be exposed to the right offer to move on to the next stage. So why nobody engaged with your posts? Why nobody sent you inquiries? Why no leads? Why does it feel like you're spending so much time, so much effort trying to convince people, getting locked in price war, haggling, being treated badly like you're some sort of sleazy salesperson? Have you ever felt dirty when you're talking to people because you're trying to just get them to be on your side? All the problem with conversion happens because there's not enough people in the previous stage, or you're giving the wrong offer to the wrong people. Any offer given must connect to the specific stage they're in. There are specific there are specific kinds of offer that you can give strangers that will be easy. There are offers that you give to strangers that's going to be impossible for them to take on no matter what. There are specific offers you give to audience, specific audience offers you give to community, prospect, and client. At every specific stage, you must give them the right kind of offer in order for them to move on to the next stage. When a campaign didn't work, it happens because the campaign ignored this important principle. So it's very important that you understand this thoroughly. So now, if we are aligned on how conversion works, right? Whatever I explained just now, right? To get people from strangers to clients, that's how conversion works. If we are aligned on how conversion works, I'll let you in on why so many people take such a long time to create a stable business off the back of a new idea. So once I show you exactly how much effort it really takes and the number of things you have to remember to ensure this funnel isn't clogged, you will see that most people underestimate the difficulty in marketing something. By the way, when I say clog, what I mean is that there are people who are just stuck. There are businesses who have an inordinate amount of audience, but not enough community. And then there are people who have too many community, but they do not know how to turn them into prospects, don't know how to turn them into clients. You will understand why that is in this section. I'll do this by just explaining to you exactly how to move people from one stage to another. So as I mentioned earlier, we do this by offer. Offer is defined as something you give to another person in exchange for payment. But I want to explain to you also that money is not the only form of payment, as you will soon see. And I will explain this through this formula. First formula is this. If you give content to strangers, the ones who pays attention to your content becomes your audience. Okay, first formula. Second one, offer lead magnet to audience. Right? If you give lead magnet to audience members, the members of your audience, the ones who shows interest, the ones who raise their hand, becomes a part of your community. If you promote a conversation, if you don't promote a purchase, if you don't promote a sale, you promote a conversation to your community, the ones who makes an appointment becomes a prospect. And if you, during the conversation, if you offer them an irresistible core offer to the right prospect, the ones who says yes becomes your client. So what I have just demonstrated, what I've just showed you over here, simplifies a whole lot of things. Because when you don't have this framework, you may be offering core offer to audience members, and then you wonder why nobody buys. You may be offering conversations to strangers, and you wonder why isn't anybody taking up your consultation offer? It's free. Why isn't anyone taking up? It's because they're strangers, right? Why isn't anyone raising up? They are like you work so hard to create an amazing ebook, an amazing lead magnet, an amazing tool, and you go all over to different community and WhatsApp and you're promoting your webinar, you're promoting your tools. Nobody is raising their hands. Why? Because they haven't yet considered themselves part of your audience. So it's got nothing to do. It's got, well, something to do, but not everything to do with what you do. It's a psychology of it. And in order for you to succeed marketing yourself, you must understand the psychology of it. It is the right kind of offer at the right time to the right people. You can't give, none of this chain can be wrong. If you give the wrong offer to the right people, it's not going to work. If you give the right offer to the wrong people, it's not going to work. It must be the right time, right offer, right people. So, and don't forget that throughout all these stages, people will drop off. So if you want your business to consistently grow, it is a priority to consistently add people into your funnel for all the stages. You need to consistently add more people into your audience. You need to consistently add more people into your community. You need to consistently add more people into your prospect. You need to consistently add more people, obviously clients. So the problem is a lot of people have tunnel vision. They are just focusing on building the audience only, or they're just focusing on building the community only, or they're just focusing on building a prospect only. They don't understand that it is all of these things need to happen right in the right order, in the right sequence. So it is very, very important to understand. So you do this by creating the relevant offers that I've highlighted over here. All right. So you give content to strangers, you gain their attention, they become an audience. You give lead magnets to, or free drops or freebies, the right freebies, all right? Good freebies, not just simply any freebies, not just free stuff, but like really good stuff to the audience. You generate interest, and the ones who raise their hands for the interest become part of your community. You offer conversation to community members, and the ones who book an appointment becomes a prospect. You offer great irresistible offer to prospects. The ones who made a purchase becomes a client. That's how you gain clients. Your offers must be relevant. It must be suitable for the right stage, as I mentioned, in someone's journey. It is very important to understand this. If you think that this is what I want you to really understand. If you think that your offer is good, but the response is low, it is simply because they are good in your opinion, but they weren't good in the market's opinion. And the market's opinion is more important than your opinion. I won't get into it too much, even though this is a very important thing, but I don't want to get into it too much because it's a whole other topic, and I want to keep this video short. What is important to know is that these are the types of offer to give to different people in different stages. So make sure you remember this concept, as it is going to be very important for what we are discussing next. So, as of now, if we are aligned on the main reason why marketing fails, and we are aligned with how the marketing process works, you are probably thinking, wow, marketing is a lot of effort. If you think that, great, you're smart, and you will be right. Most people underestimate the importance of the big picture, and they focus on the small steps. Because small steps is easier on the mind. It's easier to think. You don't have to think too much. Thinking is actually quite hard. And small steps gives the illusion of progress. I just do this and I immediately get that. And many people reject the possibility that marketing could be a lot more complex than these simple things. So that's why you have all these myths. That's why you have all these people thinking that marketing is just about spamming their promotional offers, every single WhatsApp group, every single Facebook group, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So it is always easier to think small and enjoy immediate gratification than thinking holistically. Different stages of business require different mindset. For a new business to start and survive, constantly thinking about the next immediate step and only the next immediate step is actually very important. But for a surviving business to thrive, if you are a surviving business and you want to thrive now, you want to scale now, you want to make it sustainable now, the business owner, yourself, must start to think big picture and see a few steps ahead. Not too far, but a few steps ahead. So if you have already gone past the survival stage, you must start to think with a different mindset. You got to start thinking in months. You got to start thinking in years. In a different kind of mindset that involves more thinking and actually less doing, taking more risks and bets and invest money just to learn key insights that will scale your business for you. And the next part here is one such insight. Look, it is illogical, impractical to reach out to people one by one, the way many small micro business owners do, going out, have coffee, engage in pointless conversations to quote unquote connect. It is not practical to engage with people one at a time, spending 1 hour of the time and parking, jumping on call and stuff like that, just to offer things like content, lead magnet conversations, etc. In fact, the willingness to do something like that actually doesn't even help, but it makes the situation worse because people start to associate your personal brand with desperation, because nothing looks as ugly as the sight of someone who's trying too hard. So even if you have the time and the willingness to do one-on-one outreach, you risk devaluing your brand in the eyes of the market because you're just trying too hard. This is why so many people are so busy and so exhausted all the time when it comes to marketing. This is why so many people hate marketing, hate sales. It's because they are just not doing things the right way. And that's why it's becoming a lot more harder. Not really because algorithm change and all these people. I mean, yeah, the market does evolve, the algorithm does evolve and all that stuff. But what is more important is, are you even following the right marketing principles? And are you even thinking big enough? Are you even thinking like an expert do? So here's what I want to talk about, like in terms of you understand all these process in terms of the right way to do marketing. There's a difference in terms of what the experts do and what the newbies do. Okay, what do experts do? Experts don't do this like small stuff. They build machines or systems that does the things for them. In other words, they don't directly do the things, they create machines that do these things for them. So the reason why you're so busy and exhausted all the time is because you're doing all the work instead of putting your effort into building the machine that does the work for you. Let's just use cooking as an example. If you want to cook food, you need a source of heat. In prehistoric times, if you want to cook something, you just rub two sticks together over some leaves, you got some small sparks that could turn into fire. The mechanism is that when two surfaces rub together, friction is generated and heat is released. It works, but it costs time, it costs patience, it costs a lot of skills, right? So you advance a little further to the medieval ages. Now they're using flint and steel. Same mechanism, but this technology creates sparks instantly. You still need to take some time to turn those sparks into a flame, but it takes significantly less time, patience, and skill. In the modern age, we now have stuff that are fueled by gas instead of wood or coal. Zero skills involved. And the fires can now be started and sustained over a long time, instantly, with 100% control. So we look at marketing now. Communication is a general concept taught in school. Branching off from this comes brand communication, and then marketing, and then digital marketing, and now AI marketing. So if you're struggling and busy all the time, consider that you're struggling because you are using the business version of dinosaur tech in the modern age. This is why you need to spend so much time, so much money to learn and practice skills which are not even in your zone of genius in the first place. This is why everything takes so long and costs so much effort. I know this because I used to do this. I came from a fitness industry, and instead of enhancing my skills in the fitness industry, I kept learning marketing, and in the end, I became a marketer. In the end, I learned more about marketing. I know more about marketing than I do about fitness. Funny, isn't it? The way life works. So if you don't want to study marketing so much to the point where you became marketer instead of focusing on your zone of genius, don't. Okay? Experts don't just market. They use modern knowledge, modern technology. You build machines that does the marketing for them. So I've done all this talk about mechanism, machine, When you apply a mechanism towards a specific use case and you keep an open mind for new ways of doing things, you will always be surprised at how you can make difficult and time-consuming tasks much easier. So if you use proper marketing principles, you become money rich. If you build a business machine using proper marketing principles, you become time rich. What I do is that I help people build marketing machines using timeless marketing principles, and AI helps me build it faster. So this is a screenshot of my personal workflow when I'm working with clients. Before AI, to complete all these steps within a few months, there's about 21 steps total. To complete all these steps within a few months is unthinkable. With AI, I've been able to deliver 60% of these steps within 4 hours and the rest within a week. Now, there are many steps involved in creating and launching a highly effective marketing machine, and all the steps can be roughly divided into 5 stages: research, positioning, packaging, presentation, and distribution. Research is the first step. It is also the most underrated but important and time-consuming part of marketing. Most people treat research like an afterthought, or they do research to validate biased opinions. But 80%, the truth is 80% of your marketing results is dependent on what research you do. So a surprisingly common reason why campaigns don't work is because they were operating off the back of wrongful assumptions in the first place. For a beginner to do all these alone would take a few months, and it usually involves things like keyword searches, YouTube keyword searches, Google, competitor research, taking surveys, doing interviews, focus groups, and all of that stuff. It takes a long time. For me, it takes a few weeks, and that's why very few people look forward to doing market research, because it is tedious and the ROI is not immediately obvious. To overcome this problem, there's an entire industry built for this stage alone. There are firms that specializes in doing market research for large corporations so that their clients don't have to do this themselves. This kind of service costs tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, and yet it is necessary. What comes next is positioning. Positioning is when you inject your expert opinion about the situation your target market is facing. It is about you explaining to them why they continue to face the problems they face and present your own unique solution that stands out from the rest of your competition. In packaging, we put together what the market wants and what you can provide into an irresistible offer. The kind of offer, as 𝗟𝗟𝗓𝗏 said, that prospects will feel stupid saying no to. The only way you can create an irresistible offer is by having a thorough and solid understanding about the market and your expertise. And this is the reason why I stress so much on the idea of research. And it is also why positioning must come before packaging. Once packaging is done, presenting comes next. In this stage, we create the language and flow of presenting the business and its offers in a way that is easier for the market to understand. Many businesses suffer because their founders use too much expert language and way of explaining. It causes their target market to be confused or lose attention. So in this stage, using everything we've learned about the market so far, we simplify and we organize the most optimal flow of information, and we teach it to you so that you can do it well with your prospects. And finally comes the distribution. You want eyeballs on your business. You need more strangers to see your content so that they can turn into audience. And you want audience to raise their hands and join your community. You want to be able to create effective call to actions to your community so that you have conversations with highly qualified and interested prospects to buy your core offer. This is the stage where we create content. We produce lead magnets. We create automations and systems to consistently run the mechanisms that creates results. We put this as the last stage. Why? Because when you have all the details of exactly who your market is, what you want to offer, and how you want to offer it, this gives the best opportunity to strategically attract the best kind of people for your business. And there you have it, the proper sequence and flow to build a marketing machine. Whenever someone's marketing machine isn't working, or if it takes too much effort to run it, it's because they either got the order wrong or they didn't execute all the stages properly. Like I mentioned, with AI, I've been able to deliver 60% of these steps within 4 hours and the rest within a week. And this process will only get faster as I continue to master the various AI tools and as more tools come up to the market. So now let's turn the attention to you. What have you learned? By now, you should have learned that marketing campaigns don't, when marketing campaigns didn't work, it is because they didn't follow the science of influence. They were ignoring the steps, they were missing some steps, they were building machine with incorrect sequence or incorrect assumptions. When a campaign is costing too much time, too much money, too much effort for too little results, it is because the marketers are doing the work instead of building the machine that does the work. If you use proper marketing principles, you are money rich. If you build a machine using proper principles, you are time rich. AI does all this in hours, what used to take months. And hopefully, by now, you have identified some areas of improvements, or at least an idea of what you should be doing to improve your results. Fact is, most people approach business in bits and pieces. They are overly focusing on one area while neglecting other areas. And that's why they're stuck. It is a blind spot that leads to the business owner unknowingly running on a hamster wheel, doing the same things year after year, expecting different results. If that's you, I just want to say that it's not your fault. It's not an uncommon thing, because it is very easy to fall into the trap of doing things we are familiar with, especially if you have a lot of responsibilities demanding your attention. But at the same time, now that you know, something must be done. So, an effective marketing requires a holistic approach. As entrepreneurs, we are not afraid of hard work. We are only afraid that our hard work goes to waste. So, if it is important to you that you channel your efforts in the right direction, a holistic approach is very worthwhile to look into. For those who are ready, I'd like to invite you to a one-on-one conversation with me or my team. And by ready, I mean those of you who are, number one, operating a stable business, making consistently USD 5K and above. Number two, serious and committed to building a marketing machine for your business with or without me. That means whether I come into the picture or not, you are going to do it nonetheless. You're going to spend whatever amount of money it takes. You're going to put in whatever amount of effort it takes. If that's you, that's who I'm looking for. I'd like to invite you to have a private consultation with me and my team, where we will do a deeper diagnosis of your marketing challenges. We will align on your main goal and how to get there. And I will show you specific case studies of how I help similar clients like you to get what they want. So if you enjoyed today's presentation, I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy having a conversation with me. By the end of that conversation, worst case scenario is that you will go back with some newfound clarity that you can use to apply in your business. Best case scenario, we will work out a highly profitable deal for you, where I will personally involve myself in your business as a consultant on all things related to marketing. All the information you'll need to make up your mind about whether you want to have a conversation will be displayed on this page right here. So if you're ready, click on that link and submit your application. If you got questions and you would like to chat with us first before getting on a call, there's also that option to link to my messenger and email me, so that or email me, that you can use to reach out. So you got nothing to lose, and I hope to hear from you. So if you're not ready to have that call with me, however, no problem. You can also join my community to benefit from the free events that I run and connect with other members of my community as well. All of them have deep interest in using AI for business, and all the relevant links will also be in this page. With that being said, that's all for now. I hope you learned a lot of things from my sharing today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.